Hey guys, it's Girl Got Game. Welcome back to Edo Blossoms, where we're going to finish up KAZUE Soma's route. And I'm very excited because he was another dark horse from Kyoto Winds that unexpectedly was a really sweet cinnamon roll and a very, very protective guard dog. Oh my goodness, this boy, the lengths this boy goes to protect Chizuru is insane. And arguably, most importantly, Miki should be back. I'm so excited. So, let's hop into it. I've also been told that we should have lots of tissues for this route, which I'm kind of expecting for Nomura's sake, if nothing else, because I'm probably going to watch Nomura die this time. And I was sad enough on Hachiro's route just hearing about Nomura dying. Like, no, my boy! My sweet baby boy. I do need a recap though. I think I'm pretty sure Miki is not a Fury. I think he's still a normal ass human, so. And Chikage kept giving Soma a lot of grief as well, so we'll see if he's still a big thing on this side. I don't think we ran into Dad in Kyoto Winds with him. Anyway, let's recap. Winter 1864. In order to find my father with whom I'd lost contact, I, Chizuru Yukimura, visited Kyoto. In that city, I bore witness to a horrifying secret hidden within a group called the Shinsengumi, the Fury, a creature with white hair and crimson eyes. Luckily, I was saved from the vicious clutches of the Furies by the men of the Shinsengumi. Because I had discovered the Shinsengumi secrets, it was proposed that I live with the Shinsengumi men since they were also searching for my father. As such, I was to serve under Hijikata as the commander's page, a role I performed proudly. So, thus began my life with the Shinsengumi. I had heard rumors, well whispers really, that the Shinsengumi was little more than a bunch of crooked ronin, but my life with them proved otherwise. Their commitment to protect the safety of Kyoto made them the last of a dying breed, true samurai. It set them apart from those who only craved power. During the period in which I was becoming acquainted with the Shinsengumi, I met KAZUE Soma, who served as the chief's page under my diligent tutelage. He had a lot of questions about loyalty, because he wasn't with the Shinsengumi and thought, not the best of them, to put it lightly, and then was with the army and then was like, this is not who I am, and then joined the Shinsengumi. So, I do remember that now that we're going through this. It was during this time that a group of demons led by a figure named Chikage Kazuma emerged, standing in opposition to the Shinsengumi. After learning that I too shared demon lineage, they pursued me relentlessly. Thankfully for me, I had Soma as a protector. A very, very good protector. When tensions arose between the Shinsengumi and a rival faction, it was Soma, once again, who came to my rescue against a man named Saburo Miki! Miki hype. Morale waned as the tide of conflict loomed large, exacerbated by an attempt on the life of our chief. Our situation, however, became increasingly dire. At the time, the fate of the shogunate was threatened by the Satsuma Choshu, which later culminated in an inevitable battle for control of the nation. Thus began the Battle of Toba Fushimi. Oh yeah, man, I remember him pulling... Yeah, Kazuma really did a number on our boy. It set the fateful stage for a duel between Soma and Miki, one with unforeseen consequences. Soma had been forced into consuming the water of life and was resigned to becoming a fury. Unfortunately, the battle ended in favor of the Satsuma Choshu, and the Shinsengumi were driven from Kyoto. They set sail for Edo in hope of a new start. Didn't even mention Kazuma coming by and causing trouble. I think Yamazaki saved us. I'm pretty sure Yamazaki was like, run, get out of here. I got your back, because he was going to die anyway. I think. So long ago, man. Ugh. Alright, time to get into it. Also, I apologize if I sound stuffed up at all. I've been having major allergies lately. And they come and go. Which is fun. Why so serious? Achievement unlocked. Soma's very serious. He takes his job seriously. The Shinsengumi was greeted with a thick, dreary fog upon returning to Edo. No doubt a bizarre omen as they settled at Kama Inn, located in Shinagawa. Isumi Kondo, our chief, was still recovering from a debilitating bullet wound sustained to his shoulder. His vacancy prompted Hijikata to visit Edo Castle in the hopes of garnering shogunate support in order to negotiate a retaliatory strike in the near future. Numerous casualties required our constant care, and Saito tirelessly hopped between our base and Dr. Matsumoto's clinic to treat the wounded men. As for Sanan and Heisuke, they were assigned patrol duties during late-night rounds, keeping a watchful eye over any suspicious activity in Edo. Nagakura, Harada, and Nomura maintained the compound's social atmosphere, boosting spirits by taking our downtrodden men on frequent outings. Nomura's in on this.
Hey, don't tell me Soma's still got his nose stuck in a training session.
After suffering serious wounds during the Battle of Tobafushimi from Saburo Miki, he consumes the water of life and becomes a fury. I'm pretty sure Miki thought it was poison? And so he was like, drink it or I'll kill the girl, kind of thing. I didn't think Soma had taken too much of a beating, but I can't remember for sure. I turned my head to where Harada was smirking. There stood Soma in the courtyard, putting his weight behind each swing of his habaki. A blade that is so dull it is unable to cut.
Yo, Soma! Why don't you take a breather? You've been going at it since this morning. I've barely started yet. Give it a rest, man. You're just going to tucker yourself out and then you'll be no use to us.
Everyone's trying.
Your concern is duly appreciated. However, I know my own limits.
And so, Soma kept swinging, sliding his feet in calculated movements to aim precise strikes at an imaginary foe. Nagakura scoffed before slumping his shoulders and continued to berate Soma from the side.
Look, just turn off your brain and stop making all of us look bad. You'll throw out your shoulder.
Suddenly, Soma stopped mid-swing, perhaps taken aback by Nagakura's biting command. His shoulders bounced up and down as he tried to catch his breath.
Forgive me. I need to cool off, so please excuse me.
Soma bowed curtly and sauntered towards the well without another word.
Jeez, any idea what's gotten into him? I'm surprised he isn't exhausted from tailing after Hijikata every goddamn day. I see him, I blink, and then he's gone. I think he's still a little sore from what happened out in Tobafushimi.
Unbeknownst to everyone else, Soma had recently taken on the burden of becoming a Fury. That's right, I was wondering as we were going through this, I'm like, I don't think he told anybody. In spite of his newly developed aversion to sunlight, he carried on his normal page duties, bouncing all around Edo without complaint or refusal. In addition, he dedicated his remaining free time to honing his swordsmanship, an admirable feat. Even if he weren't a Fury, anyone else would likely have collapsed from fatigue doing half of his work.
Chizuru, get a word in with that guy for us, would you? Make sure he doesn't overdo it.
I shall. In truth, I had no real interest in doing so, because I partly understood what motivated his behavior. However, I hadn't wanted to make light of their concerns and dismiss the idea entirely. Soma had needed to balance his responsibilities better. If not for his health, then at least for the sake of appearances. Perhaps Heisuke would have a better idea of how to approach the subject with Soma. Heisuke and Soma are quite similar. Soma's more serious, but they have, like, similar... I don't know if you want to call it, like, questions of faith, or, you know. Similar issues that they have to deal with. Good morning. Empty headquarters, huh? Did they all go out drinking in town again?
Oh, Heisuke, could I borrow a minute of your time? There's something I've been meaning to ask you.
What is it?
I darted my eyes around the hallway quickly, making sure no one else was around as I explained myself. You spilling the beans? Oh no! We spilled the beans! You put Heisuke in a terrible spot, Chizuru.
What? Soma's a fury now? How long has that been going on?
I'm serious. He had me swear not to tell any of the other warriors, so please keep it discreet.
Yeah, will do. Your secret's safe with me. I won't tell anyone. So he's out and about all day, and then he uses all of his downtime to train? Kinda reckless, if you ask me.
Heisuke is such a great guy. He's always got Chizuru's back. He's like, even though you put me in a terrible position, I won't betray your secret. I had the same thought. If he were to enter the Fury Corps, he worries that the Shinsengumi wouldn't allow him to carry on his current duties, which is an understandable fear.
I see.
So I wanted to ask you, is there anything we could do to help him mitigate some of his painful side effects during the day?
Well, I can think of one thing, but...
Really?
Yeah. A little while ago, I got a letter from Dr. Matsumoto with a batch of medicine he made.
Heisuke reached his hand into his pocket, digging for a second before pulling out a handful of pouches wrapped in a thin, wrinkled layer of parchment.
He suggested that if I start feeling nauseous or dizzy from being in sunlight, I should take this with some water to help reduce the symptoms. But he noted that it wasn't a permanent fix, and that its effects would wear off eventually. So, if you give it to him, keep that in mind.
I see. Thank you.
Here, feel free to take some. I hope this helps out Soma, even if just a bit.
Of course. Thank you again, Heisuke.
Heisuke. What a bro.
After the two of us exchanged bows, Heisuke walked away languidly while I awaited Soma's return.
Oh, hello, Miss Yukimura. Hadn't expected to see you at this hour.
Ah, welcome back. You see, I've actually been meaning to speak with you, Soma.
You were?
Yes. Ever since we've returned to Edo, you've spent every evening trying to improve your swordsmanship after a long day of work. How have you been managing? Everyone's starting to worry that you might be overexerting yourself.
I'm alright. Nagakura tried to warn me that I might tear a shoulder muscle, or throw it out or something. But now that I'm a fury, flesh wounds are of no real consequence since I can just heal right away.
Aw. It troubled my heart to hear Soma insist on neglecting his personal health.
Back in the Battle of Toba-Fushimi, I was useless, and I was made to pay for it. I cannot afford to let myself slip, especially when I must honor Inoue and Yamazaki's sacrifice.
Oh, that's right, Inoue was there too. Soma's lamentation affirmed what I had thought all along, and my heart felt heavy hearing their names. But I had to tell him how I truly felt. Yeah, I mean, instead of just saying don't overexert yourself, he's heard that all the time. Are you sure? Are you sure you're okay? Aw, he appreciates our concern. Good.
Of course. I would tell you if I weren't. You can trust me.
I sighed in relief to Soma's solemn words of comfort.
I've been envisioning my next encounter with Miki, imagining sticking my sword inside his gut.
Soma?
His visceral threat induced a wave of anxiety inside of me, and I failed to think of a meaningful response. Before proper words could come to mind. The segues! Good grief. It went from like, are you sure you're, like, the guys are just worried. I'm fine though. I would tell you if I wasn't, too. So I've been thinking about sticking my sword in Miki's gut to, bloodlust! Soma, you're taking me for a roller coaster of emotions here.
Gah!
Soma toppled over, scrunching his face in extreme discomfort as his knees gave out. I watched his individual strands of hair begin turning white, and I gasped in horror. Are you alright, Soma?
I'm fine. Sanan and Toto have survived worse than this.
As I watched Soma writhe in pain, I decided to. Obviously. Soma, what you need is blood.
What are you saying? I can't do that. No way.
If you let the bloodlust deteriorate your sanity, then what good will you be to Kondo or Hijikata when they need you most? So, please. Oh, right. I got so caught up in the roller coaster of emotions, I forgot to think about where this boy could possibly have his kink. I honestly don't know. I keep waiting for somebody to be the forward-facing vampire guy. But Soma is so respectful to Miss Yukimura. So I'm thinking... arm? Somewhere? I don't think we've done elbow. Elbow?
But...
Soma squirmed in front of me in agony, wallowing in his stubbornness. I was forced to take matters into my own hands again. Without a second of hesitation, I unsheathed the Kadachi on my hand, feeling a dull sting as I sliced a wide cut in the middle of my palm. Okay. So this is like another Soji thing.
What are you doing, Miss Yukimura?
The color in Soma's face drained as he barked at me, but I answered wordlessly, offering him my bloody, outstretched palm. Drink my blood. Your sanity depends on it, Soma.
Oh.
He was pale, staring at me as a coat of sickly sweat dripped down his gaunt face, but eventually...
Pardon me.
Soma shivered as he slunk behind me. Then he took me by utter surprise. Not the hand? Oh. He covered my eyes with his bandaged hand, and I felt his warm breath tickle the back of my neck. Soma? What are you doing?
You will have to forgive my imposition. But I cannot allow you to watch me taste your blood.
Wow, he's taking, like, very, very strong measures to make sure she cannot see. Huh, alright. Interesting. We'll put in for a tentative, hand kink, but I feel like that's gonna change as things progress. I love that picture, though. The hairs covering my body stood as he moved my bloody palm closer to his mouth. Then he flicked at it gently with his tongue, as if he were dipping his toe into an icy bath. With each lick, his vigor increased, and the pressure shot up the length of my arm as he drank me in.
Miss Yukimura, why would you make me do this to you?
Trepidation dripped between his nervous words, and his voice stuttered in between delicate licks. It may have been something of an indecent proposal, but I felt somewhat vindicated. Don't worry yourself. Just focus on letting this pass. At last, the staggered rhythm of his shallow breathing seemed to calm, and he held me close. Ooh! Ooh! I like! He held you after that. That's so nice. Usually the boys drink and then they're like, well, see ya. Yay, Soma! Alright, off to a strong start. A few days later, thanks in no small part to Hijikata's efforts, the Shinsengumi managed to rent a mansion owned by a Hatamoto in Edo to use as a headquarters. Shortly thereafter...
Gentlemen, my sincerest apologies for worrying you. I am proud to say that I am in prime condition. Gather round, men. I've got big news to announce. Luck is on our side, as the Shogunate has ordered us to intercept Imperial forces in Kofu. On top of this, they have promoted me to the rank of Executive Lieutenant Minister. That's right. I'm proud to announce that I am Daimyo. A Daimyo! To celebrate, I've had a batch of Western uniforms fitted for all of you, so that when we march in style. Amen? Alright. Dismissed. I worried for a while about his well-being, but it makes me smile to see the chief so chipper. Of course. I mean, what more can you expect from the chief of the Shinsengumi? The guy survived a bullet. A bullet! That's nothing to a badass like him. And now he's a daimyo, right? Guess that means that he'll be a little tougher to approach than he used to. Oh, come on, man. Daimyo or not, Kondo's always gonna be Kondo, right? Right.
Nagakura coolly played off the celebrations, even as the room around us buzzed in glee, but Soma had a troubled expression stretched along his lips. Aw, Soma and Nagakura were so excited for Kondo. On the day of their departure. I peered into the hall curiously, seeing all of the men clad in their dashing new uniforms. Oh yes, please drool over Soma. I was spotted, and someone came to approach me. Hey, it's you! Are we gonna comment on your haircut?
Oh, come to see us off, have you, Miss Yukimura?
Oh, Soma! Wow, that uniform is so sleek.
Isn't it? At first I wondered if it was tailored a bit too tightly, but it really hugs the width of my shoulders and arms, so it's much easier to move in than a kimono.
I see.
Zoom?
In his new uniform, I realized just how lean and muscular Soma's frame was. He was flattered by his even proportions, giving him an air of refinery. I nearly blushed from staring at him for too long, but I couldn't help but think about how mature he had looked.
Is something wrong, miss? Be honest. Do these clothes look a little unbefitting on me?
Huh? No, nothing like that. I was just thinking that I almost couldn't recognize you in them is all.
Couldn't recognize me? Come now, there's no need to tease me. Same me, just a different coat.
I knew it was gonna be Nomura running up like, hey, how do I look? Nomura, stop, you're just making it more likely that I'm gonna sob over you in a few chapters. Don't do this to me.
Oh, there you are, Miss Yukimura! Check me out! Not too shabby, don't you think?
You've gotten a new uniform too, have you, Nomura? Not too shabby indeed. Far from it.
Damn straight! But in all seriousness, the Sacho are real rat bastards. They had a hell of a time shooting at us in threads like these during Toba Fushimi. Well, next time we're gonna return the favor to them. Isn't that right, Miss Yukimura?
Right.
Hey, enough chit-chat, you guys. Gonna have to plug my ears at this rate. Alright, move out.
Oh, yes, sir! Right away, sir!
Am I not going this time? How interesting. I actually stay behind? But the Furies! My life's in danger. No? Wait, I thought she was seeing them off, so we are going? I'm confused. And so the Shinsengumi began their lengthy convoy from Edo to Kofu, and excitement kept the momentum going until we had set up camp.
We have to camp outside tonight, huh? Yeesh. I'm pooped from being on my feet all day. You think that attitude's gonna fly out there? We haven't even drawn our weapons yet. Well, excuse me for not realizing how far of a walk this was going to be. Say, has the chief not caught up with us yet? Didn't you hear me earlier? He stayed behind in Hino to interview a crop of potential recruits. Kinda taking his time, don't you think? At our pace, we'll reach Kofu days before the chief does. I don't know how we'll fight without him. Come to think of it, both Nagakura and Harada looked pissed as hell all afternoon.
As Nomura poked his nose up to search for our friends, Soma fell into a contemplative stupor. What Nomura had mentioned was true. Nagakura had publicly aired his frustrations with Kondo, bringing to light a slew of unsettling opinions. Silence floated between us until Soma looked up.
Miss Yukimura, if you don't mind, I'm going to go and check up on the chief.
The chief? In Hino? Do you really think that's a good idea?
Either way, I'm afraid something might have happened to him. Considering last time...
Just as the words escaped from Soma's mouth.
Soma! Are you there, Soma? Here, Shimada. How may I help you? Summon the chief and relay this correspondence. Kofu Castle has fallen to enemy forces.
What?
Good thing you waited a half a second. Hours passed until Kondo arrived, saddled atop his stallion to a somber encampment. Needless to say, breaking the news to him wasn't easy.
Okami has entrusted us with this mission, mind you, with plenty of coin on the line. We cannot retreat. Are you delusional? Almost a third of our men dropped their weapons and broke formation just from hearing the news. A third!
Some of the captains voiced their heated opinions, which echoed ominously around the camp. Soma merely observed the tense conversation from the sideline, brooding with pursed lips. Eventually, Hijikata parted two of the soldiers and stepped closer toward the conversation.
Yukimura and Soma here, now.
Yes, sir. What is it?
As if we don't have enough shit on our plate, I've been tasked with bringing our reinforcements. Guard Kondo with your life. That's more than an order. As far as I'm concerned, if you're still alive and he isn't, I'll even the score. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal, sir. Count on me to protect the chief with my life.
I too will do everything I can to protect him. But Hijikata, please travel safely as well.
Yeah. Gotcha, kid.
What a change from, like, don't you die as well. It's like, yeah, you can die this time. Thanks, Toshi. Unfortunately, Hijikata's plans turned out to have been made in vain, since before he could return, one of the new recruits, who possessed even less skill with a firearm than myself, preemptively fired his rifle at the castle and all hell broke loose. As it matters, couldn't have been worse.
God damn it! They got the same guns as the Sacho had! They're reloading faster than our men can switch between lines! We're fucking goners! If this keeps up, there'll be nothing left of us other than blood and chunks. Kondo, give the order to retreat, man! I beg of you! Oh!
Hesitancy glimmered in Kondo's wide eyes as he had clearly disdained the concept of retreat, but...
Fine. Tell the men to fall back.
Soma, please accompany Yukimura to protect the chief. The rest shall be handled by us.
Yes, sir. Alright, we gotta go. Chief, Miss Yukimura, when you're ready.
Kondo, please, this way.
Oh, okay.